Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to race day one of the weekend here at Imola for the Lotus Cup Europe. It's round 3 of the championship, where races 5 and 6 will indeed take place. As you can see on your screens, all of our cars are coming out of the pit lane here for a 25-minute qualifying session to determine where they will be starting in race 1 today and race 2 tomorrow. My name is Luke Crane. Hopefully you are going to enjoy what we're about to bring you. Race cars, sun, Italy, what more could you want? Well, some Lotuses out on circuit as well, which is fantastic. Pretty much the grid is full of names that you are used to seeing in the Lotus Cup Europe, plus a sprinkling of new drivers as well. 31 drivers in total taking part this season. We've got 21 cars here this weekend. Lotus Cup Europe is absolutely thriving over the last couple of years, and the championship has been fought so hardly as well, with Benz Ballo coming out on top last season in a very tightly fought battle with Tamas Vizin. Both of these drivers will be racing today. And Benz Ballo, realistically, after practice yesterday, was around about 1.5 seconds faster than everybody out there. So, star of the field once again. But it's qualifying time today. I am sure there are many drivers out there who have been sandbagging just a little bit as they come through Acqua Minerale for the first time. Benz Ballo with that number 1 on the side of his car there, just to show, yes, I am the champion. I'm the reigning champion. I want a 4th title. And then brother just in behind. Just saw there with the yellow stripe right down the middle. That was Paul Marichal. And there's Sven Pettersson. Jean-Pierre. Geno Prochet. In the open top Lotus. In the number 79. In the 2110 class. As we head then round that final corner. So the first flying laps are going to start coming in. It will take a fair chunk of time here, maybe 5 to 10 minutes to really get those tyres up to a decent temperature. So don't expect there to be incredible time straight off the bat. But once these cars get going, they absolutely get going. This is Georgi Ballo there. In the second of the Lotuses with the beautiful black and gold trim, a little bit of red there as well. The GFS racing team. Colour scheme we've come to expect for the Lotus Cup Europe. 3-time championship winning car as well, being piloted by Benz Ballo. Get a nice little close-up here then of our reigning champion. On the limit very quickly in this session for sure. Bouncing over the curb, a little bit of counter steering there as well. And Benz Ballo absolutely putting on a show here on his first flying lap of the weekend. Brilliant stuff there. Great camera work as well. So Benz Ballo, of course, as you would expect, purple through the first 2 sectors. Nothing new there. Very talented driver. Up through that final chicane we will come. Then down in towards Ravazza. Again, a little bit of counter steering there, so that just says to me the tyres aren't quite into the temperature range that he would so wish. Through this right-hand kink here. Staying off the white line under braking. Then just taking the car out a little bit wider on entry, just to open up the corner. And then really, it's all about making sure that you're on a power as early as possible on the exit of that final corner. It's such a long run. It's the most important exit of any corner around this circuit. And this will be our first flying time. 4 minutes into the session. And the first time posted is a 1:55.22, which is a very good time indeed. I'm not sure whether that will be the time at the end of the session to beat. I'm sure that we're going to find a couple of tenths or maybe a second or so. But right now, that is an incredible bank time as Palmer then goes into 2nd position in that number 21. So very, very good time there from Palmer. The Swede. Palmer, who's... Oh, someone has just chucked a load of gravel up there. Is there a car involved in the middle of this? Yes, there is. So off we go. I cannot quite see what car it is until the dust indeed settles. that is going to be a retirement from the session, which is not ideal in the slightest here. So that is indeed Valent. So Tibor Valent just dropped it there on the exit. A little bit too much grass. Watch it again. We're just seeing sort of the ending of the incident more than anything. Oh, that's a big hit into the wall. That is a huge hit into the wall there. And hitting the car sideways on could really potentially damage the roll cage on the inside, and that's just the last thing you want, because that's weekend over. As soon as you damage that roll cage, you're just very rarely getting that fixed. So that was a big hit there on the side of the car. So Tibor actually sharing the car with his son Bence Valent this season. There'll be no sharing of the car for the rest of this session, unfortunately. So Tibor Valent's day is over before it really began, unfortunately. As we're on board here with Tamas Vizint, two-time Lotus Europe champion, 2016, 2020. Had a hellacious battle with Bence Ballo last season. I had the pleasure of commentating at Zolder and a couple of other circuits, but especially Zolder. Changeable conditions. Those two were on absolute top form. Two of the best race finishes, not only in the Lotus Cup Europe for me personally, but of all time in my commentary career. It was that good. So hopefully we get to see them both duke it out again today. That would be nice. That would be absolutely fantastic. We momentarily saw Thierry Verheijst with the two orange stripes down the middle of his car as well. Paul Marechal has got the yellow stripes down the middle of the car. So two very similar looking cars, but ultimately just a little bit different. There's the number 33 with the two black stripes down the middle, bright lime green, and that is Bailey Edwards. A father-son duo in the championship, Mick Edwards being the father, Bailey being the son. It's Bailey's second year in this Lotus Cup. And he was actually an ex-quad bike British champion. So we still have a full course yellow. The marshals here are incredibly quick at removing cars from the circuit, as you can see there. And it doesn't look like there's too much damage to the car. It looks like, you know, as they say in motorsport, if you're going to hit something, hit it hard and square. That absolutely was the case, right? Into the wall we go. And we're not quite seeing the side of the car that had the impact. Oh no, the whole rear of the car's cracked there, isn't it? I'm not sure you would want to put your shopping in the back of that car and travel home with it. So yeah, massive amounts of misfortune. And all we can really say here is we just hope that we see that car racing at some point this weekend. It's going to be a really tough one to recover from there. So there's Paul Marechal, as you can see there, the grey car with the yellow stripes down the middle, number 52. And then you've got the orange stripes, pretty much exactly the same car apart from the stripes down the middle, and that is Thierry Verheijst, who has got a hell of an entourage, I must admit, here in Imola. Actually spoke to his brother yesterday, and he was cycling along, and his brother said he's only here just in case his brother gets lost and he has to jump into the car to have a bit of fun. So maybe we'll see that this weekend. But ever since I've commentated Lotus Europe, I've never seen Thierry Verheijst miss a race, so I'm pretty sure he'll be fine. So now we are green flag qualifying. So back to getting the tyres into a decent temperature range, back to getting the qualifying times in. Right now, Bence Ballo is the fastest out there. Then we've got David Palmer, the Swede, in second position for the Skina Equestrian GFS Racing team. We've then got Robin Nielsen, currently in third in the pits right now as it stands, for the Nibor Sports GFS Racing team. And then for Como Tech, we've got Pettersson in fourth spot. We've then got Valent, who's done, out of the session, currently P5 in the EXC class. And then we've got Bergens, currently in sixth position on an outlap. So is Andrzejczyk, so is Marechal, so is Georgi Ballo. We've then got Jean-Pierre Genot-Prechet, should I say, currently in 10th position. And we've got Valencia in 11th. Again, all of those drivers are on outlaps. Thierry Verheijst is in the pits, as we just saw. And, well, would it be the Lotus Cup Europe without mentioning the McNultys in this session? Well, both of them are here today as well. So I'm sure we'll see some times produced from them during this session. So yeah, the next couple of laps is going to be all about making sure you get those tyres into a decent temperature range, and then you can absolutely attack the track here at Imola. There's been no rain overnight. It was a very, very warm evening, so the track evolution here, it should be pretty much how we left off yesterday. There wasn't so much rubber left on the circuit from Thursday when all the drivers did a track walk. They said that the car had been used too often here since they've had some Formula 1 action last year, because there just was no rubber laid down. But it's been that hot that there is rubber everywhere now, so it really is a grippy circuit. Yesterday we had a load of oil dropped from another class on the circuit, which affected lap times for the rest of the day, but that seems to have all been cleared now. That was up in towards it was out of Tosa, so out of the hairpin of Tosa, up the hill to Piratella. And it was all the way up the hill with lots of fluids there, and now it seems all nice and clean. So we are all good to go. As we're on board here with Tamas Vizin. That's all stepping that rear out. A little bit of a dip into the gravel there. Already pushing the car to the extremities along that long start-finish straight. That's why it's so important to maximise your speed on the exit of that final corner, because it's just such a long run. It's the best overtaking opportunity down towards turn number 1. And again here, just a little bit too much curb, jumped over it, and then running out a little bit wide. And that is actually going to be a deleted lap there for track limits. Off we go. Tamas Vizin, he will absolutely find the limit. Save all 4 wheels over the white line, but the 2 wheels staying within the confines of the curbing. Still on board here with Tamas Vizin, getting a nice little slow-mo here as well. You can really see the inputs, how smooth the inputs are. As we see Paul Marichal then going past Tamas Vizin. So Benz Ballo is still the fastest. Tamas Vizin has now put in his flyer. So 0.6 of a second the difference. Up into second spot. 2 Hungarians battling out once again. As I always say, it's always a Hungarian, and then it's followed by 3 Swedes. So you've got Palmer, you've got Nielsen, and then you've got Pettersson. And then if there wasn't enough in terms of Hungarians in that top 6, the 6th driver, who unfortunately is out of the session, Valent, is currently in that 6th position, 4.1 seconds. So I'm not sure that's going to hold up. I'm sure we're going to see some quicker times posted. So yeah, as it stands, oh well, we've just had Valenci. So Valenci for Asfalti has just gone and put his car into the top 4. So nice surprise there. The number 6 car doing the business. So Alexandre Valenci is actually team manager, but 2022 is the decision made that, do you know what, I'm giving it a go this season. And currently, well now P6 actually, is Andrzejczyk goes up to P5, Pettersson up to P5, now down to P5. Marichal has just popped his car into that top 4. So everybody now coming in down to the pits, or through the pits. We'll speak to their engineers. Maybe there's some extra bit of performance that their engineers have found. Put a fresh set of rubber on the car as well. Then the last 11 minutes will be about extracting every ounce of pace, every 100th of a second out of this circuit here in Italy. But yeah, very interesting session as it stands then. So the lead GTC car is Benz Ballo. Pettersson is the 2nd of our GTC class. He's in 5th position overall. Then we've got Georgi Ballo, who's currently in 11th position for the GTC class. And then the EXC, we've got Vizin, that is the leader, currently in 2nd overall. And then we've got Palmer, Marichal, Pettersson, Andrzejczyk, Valenci, Nielsen, Borgens. Of course, Pettersson is the GTC, so ignore that. Then we've got Valent for the EXC. And then you've got Thierry Verheijst down in 13th position overall. In the 2110 class, we have got Jean-Pierre Genot-Prechet currently leading the way in 12th overall. Then we've got Lake, who's actually just gone up into P14 himself, actually. Then we've got Natalie Janot-Prochet, currently in 17th, on an outlap now as we speak. And then we've got David McNulty in 18th position. And then in the production class, we have got Toby Goodman, who leads the way there in P15. So that's how it stands here with 10 minutes to go on the clock. Hopefully I'm explaining this perfectly well for you all to understand exactly what is going on. So there are 4 classes within the one race, but they're also all racing for the overall Lotus Cup Europe Championship. So yeah, with 9 minutes to go, it's a pretty long lap here for the best part. It's the best part of 2 minutes for these drivers. So yeah, getting their outlap out the way right now is vital. Bence Ballo, Tamas Vizin, Palmer still into the pits here. As Jean-Pierre Janot-Prochet showcasing the skill sets, running over the curb with the open top. And these 2110 class cars are just so unique to look at. But at Zolder, as I spoke about earlier, it was the second race, there was so much rain that we were worried that they might need oars to get around the circuit. With it being an open top, the car would start filling up with water. But they're all good. Coming up towards Aqua Minerale, running the car nice and wide. Actually not using too much curbing on the exits of corners, using plenty on the entry though. Up the hill we come. There used to be a bit of drainage all the way along the right-hand side of the circuit there. If you got your wheels stuck in it, it would just drag you off into the grass. The drainage is a little bit more sophisticated these days. Through that final chicane we will come, bouncing their way over. As Thierry Verheist moves up to P11. Nielsen's just gone up to P9 as well. So down in towards Ravazza. The double left-hander, then the long run down towards turn number 1 across the start-finish line. Janot-Prochet, green through sector number 2, so this might be a bit faster. As it stands, a 2:01.786 is the time for Jean-Pierre to beat. We will keep our eyes on our time, so 2:01.786, is there going to be an improvement though? That is the big question here, as we see a massive slide there from Thierry Verheist. And unfortunately, there's no improvement there for Janot-Prochet. Wow, that's a massive slide there, wasn't it? For Thierry Verheist. That kind of slide will definitely put hairs on your chest, I can assure you of that. So you can only assume then the number 17 is absolutely on a flyer right now, currently in P11. Looking to find just a little bit of extra time. Currently the slowest driver of the EXC class. So yeah, find a couple of tenths here. You're going to move up quite significantly. Actually needs to find 7/10 of a second or just over to move into the next spot. Valent, who of course is not in this session anymore, will not be able to reciprocate as Verheist is trying to slice and dice here. In towards those final 2 corners we come. And Verheist has gone green through the middle sector, but yellow through sector number 1. So slower in sector number 1, but personal best in sector number 2. So we could see a potential improvement here. Had to make an overtake in the final sector as well, as Georgi Ballo does not improve on their time, and Thierry Verheist does. Now only 0.3 of a second off of Valent. So finding more time, would have lost time for sure, trying to make the overtake there on that green car, going down in towards Ravazza. So all is not lost here. Thierry Verheist starting to find that form. Gap between the front 2 still only 0.6 of a second. 2 different classes, but ultimately it is the 2 Hungarians once again. Bence Ballo, Tamas Vizin, those 2, they are the embodiment of this championship. So here we are on board with Thierry Verheist once again. As we come through Piratella. Being dragged along there a little bit by Georgi. Ballo Valenci in P6, improvement green through sector 1 and 3, yellow in sector 2, so still a bit of time out there for Valencia to find. So Peterson now slips down into 7th position. And in terms of the GTC Championship, well, that's 6 spots behind Benz Ballo. So a lot of hard work to be done during the race later today, this afternoon. Hopefully you will indeed decide to tune in for that. It will be the last race of the day. As Verheist just seems to keep catching cars through the final sector, which is just costing more and more time. And actually, Verheist has gone green here through sector 1 and sector number 2. And there's still more time to be found for sure if you get a clean lap here. But I think Verheist is about to improve on their position. Say currently in P11. But as they cross the line, it's up to P10 then. And Valent, with qualifying being over for Valent, it's done. It's game over. So Verheist will, at a minimum, start ahead of 1 car in the class. But yeah, found a fair chunk of change there. Half a second Verheist found. Next driver up the order would be Robin Nielsen. 0.3 of a second needed to get there. I think at least 0.3 of a second was lost in that final sector. So expect to see Verheist really challenging as he's gone green again through sector number 1. So absolutely flying here. David Palmer, by the way, is the fastest driver through sector 1 we've had all day. So Palmer looking very, very quick indeed through sector number 1. Car 88 has just had a lap deleted for track limits abuse, and that is indeed Peterson in the Como Tech. I think Tamas Vizin is just letting people go by here. It's almost getting a little bit angry that people aren't passing. I'm not sure if there's an issue here or not. Actually, there might be an issue for Tamas Vizin because he looks like he's going very slowly indeed. Thierry Verheist is still absolutely flying here, very similarly to Paul Marichal, who's currently in 3rd position. But Thierry Verheist might be about to even more so improve on his time and maybe jump up the order significantly. We're on board then with Georgi Ballo, the 113. As we head all the way down in towards Ravazza, the final 2 corners of this circuit, both left-handers. And it will be one more attempt for Georgi here after this lap has indeed finished. Potentially 2. It's going to be really, really tight. And I believe, even though Georgi was on the fastest lap he's done so far today, he's just backed out of that completely and, well, focused on this final attempt here. Benz Ballo, it's just gone purple through sector number 1, so anybody that was having any ideas of potentially closing that gap, well, he shut that idea down super quick. David Palmer is now only 1.3 seconds off the pace. I found half a second. So very, very quick time there from Palmer. Marichal up into P4, Andrzejczyk P5. Then we've got Valencia, Peterson, Verheist, Bergens, Nielsen as your top 10. The number 76, unfortunately, not looking good here. Mowing the lawn. And that would be great if it was needed doing. It didn't. So Andrzejczyk, then Ronald Andrzejczyk. Into the gravel now as well. And I hope this is a happy ending. Splitter there, nearly getting involved with the ground. That's the last thing you want. So the gravel being kicked up everywhere, but right now it doesn't look like there's anything particularly crazily wrong, although the car doesn't look like it's trying to stop, which is not ideal. But I know we're all good. Session done. Session done there from Ronald Andrzejczyk. Currently P5. P4 overall in the class. That will be qualifying over. 45 seconds to go here in the session. Purple then for Benz Ballo. He is about to obliterate everybody here by an absolute country mile. And he's posted the exact same time twice before this, and now he's posted a 1:53.690. So 1.163 gap. It's a massive gap. It's a full second. And going into the races, it looks like this might be the Benz Ballo show here in Italy. 15 seconds left on the clock then. Any drivers out there absolutely flying right now? No, not so much. I just had a couple of drivers pass the commentary box here. I'm on the start-finish line, so that means that we will indeed at least have a couple of drivers finishing their laps. As the checker flag has now been raised. So now anyone who crosses the line, it's their session over. They're done and dusted. So Mick Edwards has got the checkered flag. McNulty, both McNultys now have got the checkered flag. We've got Georgi Ballo. Robin Nielsen's got the checkered flag. So it's Pettersson, Bergens. We've got Tamas Vizin, Marichal, all have got themselves a checkered flag. Palmer's done, Andrzejczyk's done. They're both in the pits. We've got Lake and Goodman in the pits as well. So the only drivers still out there is Carr. We've got Valenci, Verheist, and Bence Ballo. Can anybody here find something a little bit extra? I'm not sure they can. Bence Ballo was quite off, quite a lot off the pace, about a tenth of a second off of his pace in sector number 1, and he just doesn't need to be pushing the car now. Done the hard work, job's a good one. Looks like it's going to be pole position for today's race. But while we've still got 3 other drivers to indeed finish their lap, then we'll get official classification for you. So this weekend, the Lotus Cup Europe are in Imola in Italy. We've got 2 races for you. And again, they will be today and tomorrow. So 1 race each day in the afternoon in the beautiful sunshine here. As across the line, we will go for Bence Ballo. It was not a good middle sector, but still manages to just grab another tenth of a second. Here are your official standings then. As expected, Bence Ballo has indeed resumed the show of the Bence Ballo show at 153.56. We've then got Tamas Vizin 1.2 seconds behind. Palmer, Marichal are 3rd and 4th. Andrzejczyk 5th. Valenci is in 6th. Pettersson 7th. We've then got Verheist, Bergens are in 8th and 9th, and then Nielsen in 10th position. We've then got Valent, who luckily got a lap time in really early, but unfortunately caused a full course yellow, hitting a barrier and was out of the session. We just hope that the car's going to be good enough to race later on. We've got Georgi Ballo in 12th. Then we've got Jean-Pierre Genot-Prochet. We've got Lake in 14th. Natalie Genot-Prochet in 15th. We've got Goodman, McNulty, Edwards, McNulty, Edwards, and Carr as your 21 drivers. We'll see you for race 1 later on this afternoon here at Imola.